Hi there. Welcome to my channel, Explore with Nanda. So today we will be exploring how to buy a land. We already covered partially in one of our previous videos. So in case if you haven't seen those videos, in the description below there are certain some links to those videos. Please check it out. I'm sure you'll find it very useful. And if you find this video useful, please give me a thumbs up, share with your families and friends. And if you're a first-time visitor to this channel, please subscribe so that you don't miss out on future useful videos like this. Okay, with that, let me share the screen and get started. Okay, so complete guide to buying land in Karnataka. Okay, so these are the topics which I'm going to cover. Why buy land, pros, cons, types of land, shortlisting of land, approvals, documents to check, quick introduction to the websites where you can download some important documents, some common safeguarding tips after you purchase the land. Okay, why buy a land? Pros, ownership. You own something, right? So it's a great feeling to have. Land appreciates obviously faster than home or apartment. Land is always gold, and composite home loans from leading banks, which means earlier we never used to get to loans from the banks for buying land, but nowadays we get it. And still we have some banks which give you pure land loans, but most of them have converted to composite loans, which means basically within 3 to 5 years you need to build the house. So that's a condition. With the land, you get flexibility, farming, villa, additional floors or rooms or investment. You can do what you want, right? Low maintenance compared to apartment or house, obviously, because in a land you just need to ensure that the wild growth, shrubs, etc. is cut. There's a barricade, fencing done, and then you're done with the land. So it's very low maintenance as such. Whereas in cons, obviously, it's costly within city, especially, and then that's what people try to go for an apartment. Otherwise, you need to buy a land and build. It's going to be costly, and most of the times you overshoot the budget, which is another problem. And during resale of that land and a house, typically you get only for the land because the buyer may not like the design aspects of the house. You might have to bring it down, right? So, which means obviously you'll be paid only for the land and maybe a little bit of for the house. So that's an issue. Security. Most of the lands what you buy, you need to ensure that it's safeguarded as well. Many times you find that people have bought the land, they've forgotten about it. One fine day they go and find that somebody's already living in that land. So it's an issue. So that's something which you need to take care. Types of land, there are multiple types. What we're going to consider in this video is only 4 types: agriculture, DC converted, municipal, urban lands, and commercial land. Okay. Then you also have some civic communities land, basically like playgrounds, community halls, etc., which is earmarked by the government or the BDA or any other development board when they develop layouts. Okay. Barren wasteland as such is a wasteland, self-explanatory. Forest land, again, it's self-explanatory. Grazing lands, there are certain pockets within the government allocates, which is for grazing for the animals as such, for grazing purpose for the animals. And wetland, again, you will find closer to the water bodies where, for the ecosystem to thrive. So there are some wetlands, what you see here, right, Ronald? Right. Steps to shortlist a land, decide what type, where to buy, and when to buy. Simple, common sense, right? Physically inspect the location and its surroundings. Important. Surroundings as well, not just the location. Check the background of the seller. You need to know whether the actual seller, first of all. Number two is also look at in terms of financial background, is past projects tracks, track record, whether it's all delivered in time, no litigation, no court cases, etc. Especially with the plotted developments which happens right now. You'll find a lot of plotted developments which will be all very grand looking with big arch and whatnot. After a few years, you go and look at it, it'll be like a graveyard. Yeah, and you'll find a lot many of them around. So you're clear in terms of what you're buying and whether it's actually livable after some time. You can go and build a house and live there, So that's something which you need to look at. Also, land belongs to seller, or individual, or a joint ownership. If the more the ownership, but then you have more the documents to check and so on. Okay. Approvals, depending upon where your land is, obviously all these approvals kick in depending upon the limits where you are. So BDA approved, a BBMP approved, a BIAP approved if it's near the airport and so on. BMRDF is rural, and anything outside then it's DTCP approval and so on. Similarly, also BMRC, metro lines. You need to ensure that you look at the map for today's and future so that you know where you're buying and it doesn't come in the way, right? Similarly, with the Bangalore Mysore infrastructure corridor and so on. HAL, this again was already a well-established layouts and houses around this airport. But then what happens? Suppose you buy an old house and you're trying try to bring it down and then build a new one, right? You need to be clear in terms of the restrictions, etc. So you need to get approval there. RERA approval is all projects which are RERA approved is what I suggest. Or anything which is not RERA approved, just better avoid that, right? Because in case something goes wrong, you don't have any redressal mechanism. What are the other approvals? NGT and CRZ, which are all special approvals. You see these numbers here, they're all very sacrosanct numbers. Be away from this. Whatever land you're buying should be away from this. In case if it's within that or close to it, you're in for danger, right? So ensure that this sacrosanct numbers are very maintained as such. You don't get within that number. It should be away from the number. What are the documents to check? These are documents which I've listed here, very important documents which you will definitely have. Or in case if you're buying an apartment which is part of a bigger project, obviously the builder would have bought a large parcels of land, so obviously you will have all this record. So when you go through a lawyer, obviously he will ask for all these documents. Okay, so you need to have it. Okay, now you do that report also through a lawyer, and there are also some real solid reports like full unlimited search report, 30, 15 years reports. So if you look at the formats, so let's go look at the format. They are really extensive documents which are prepared by the advocates, lawyers, and this team. So it's a huge document. So if you look at it, in this case, the template is around 21 pages. So it can be more or less also. There are a lot of details captured here. So the lawyer and his team basically looks at and says, okay, it's applicable, not applicable, found, not found, and so on and so forth. And then finally, at the end of it, it's a certificate or basically an approval or opinion is given by the lawyer. Okay, so that's the certificate of the title to be submitted by the advocate. I have examined blah blah all the documents, and then they found it's in order or not in order, whatever. So that you're able to make a decision whether to buy the property or not buy the property. Okay, so that's important document. So let's close this. Next, what? Village town map. This is the next document. Okay, which can download from the website what I mentioned here, Boomi portal. So if I open this, what does it have? It gives you a sketch of the overall. It's like a bird's eye view of the particular village or a town, whatever where the property is located, right? So if I go here, so this is one kind of map what you get, right? So if you look at this, there are a lot of notations and different items here. So let's see what it is. So if you go here, you'll get the legend. So the pink one, it says Grama Gadi Reke, which means basically it's the boundary, okay, the overall boundary. Then it says survey number Gadi, which means these black lines are all survey number Gadi. Then you have some green indication which says Gudda. So that is this part. So this is some hillock or rocky surface or small hillock kind of thing. Then this is the Uru, which is the town where some houses are there. And then what are the circles here? Circles is Bavi. So it says this is the Bavi, and then there's a lake and so on. So you get a overall view of the property, what you're looking for, and where it is situated. Maybe this is the property you're looking for, so you know exactly where it is. Or maybe this is the one, or maybe this is the one, so you get a view where it is. Now, next what? So next is you go and actually look at the sketch of that particular survey. Okay. So I open this one, I just say a survey. You get a sketch of that particular survey, right? Because the previous Tiffany, that village town map had all surveys. Now Tiffany basically you're looking at that particular survey, okay, and then Hissa. Within this survey, what you can have subdivisions, So you can have XX bar 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Why? For example, you might have a family, which is holding the particular survey. 33 example. I've taken example 33. Now you might have 33 bar 1, 2, 3, 4, which means it belongs to different family members. So that's possible. Okay. So how that gets done is through this PODI. PODI copy, document of bifurcation of land with old and new survey number among the joint owners. Okay. So when this particular process is initiated, you get a temporary number. So let's say, for example, the survey number is 33, we'll get 33 bar P1, 33 bar P2, and so on. Then once the registration, everything is done, all the formalities are completed, then you'll get this X1, 33 bar 1, 2, 3, and so on. So they're all related. Okay. So that's PODI copy for you. Then Akarband. Basically, it's a very important document. It says register of survey numbers showing the total area under each head. Okay, how much area in each of the survey numbers and how much of that is fertile and not fertile. Kharab land, and in that Kharab again, you have two types, Kharab A and Kharab B. Okay, one is held by the party, and the second one is B is basically by the government. Okay, the Kharab lands. It's a wasteland, but again, held by whom? It can be party, or it can be government. B is party, and so on. Okay, so wetland, garden in detail, rate per acre assessment details. Okay, so all this will be part of the Akkar bit. There is a sample format here, not very legible, but we will also see how to download it from the website. Okay, so that's the Akkar thing. So this one. Then you have the land conversion certificate by the district commissioner, DC converted, important. If you buy an agricultural land, you can use it for agriculture purpose, but in case if you want to do some non-agriculture activity, you need to have a DC conversion done, a district commissioner to approve and give an approval. So that's a DC converted land. So important. So there needs to be a certificate. Similarly, rights RTC document or PANI, which is another important document which we need to have as part of the sale transaction, whichever buying process or sale process. Now this one it gives you more details in terms of that particular survey. It tells you, example, let me open that. It tells you, for example, the survey, what is the extent of this land. You can see a put Karab A and put Karab B, that is Karab land A and B. If it is something is there, then it will be mentioned how much of that 3.19 acres is Karab land A and B. The assessment part of it in terms of the tax. Then there are mutation details here. Then it tells you in terms of soil type here. Okay, then it tells you in terms of what trees are grown and how many trees are grown and so on. Okay, and then more details, granular details will be captured here and so on. Okay, so it's a very important document. Okay, so this also you can download from the website. We will see that. And then now we talked about this Lebanese sketch. It's another document required. Now what happens, let's say you have to buy you want to buy from a 33 survey number, or let's say some XX survey number. Within the survey number, it's a big survey number. Obviously, I want to buy only a portion of that. Then you need to sketch it out. Okay, sketch it out. So you need to apply for the part for the activity, and then there will be a surveyor who will come and then sketch out that particular part, and then you'll create this sketch document, which has to be attached as part of your buying process. Okay, so that's the sketch here, Lebanese sketch. It's called a Lebanese sketch. I don't know exactly the reason why it's called Lebanese sketch, but it's a Lebanese sketch is the document. So if somebody knows why it's called a Lebanese sketch, please comment in the comment section. So this is the sketch. Okay, so this is a thing, and then you also have some conversion certificates like SCSC land. Please avoid buying because you'll get into problems. No tenancy certificate, you can get it from the website which we're going to see, Kachori, for example, website. It tells you exactly. The person who's selling is actually the owner and is not a tenant. Okay, so that's a certificate. Mutation record, as the name suggests, it tells you in terms of what all transactions happened at particular property. Okay. Then you also have some more documents to check, but now I've struck off the 79A and B. This was earlier a rule in Karnataka. In Karnataka, only agriculturists can buy, and again within the limit. So the A and B basically pertains to agriculturists only, and B in terms of the income level. So it should be, earlier it was about 2 lakhs income, and then it got changed to 25 lakhs maximum and all. Now everything is knocked off. Anyone can buy it, including non-agriculturists, but you can use it for agriculture purpose only. But in case if you want to use it for non-agriculture purpose, remember what you're supposed to do, you need to convert it. Okay, so you need to apply for the conversion as such. That also you can do through the Bhumi portal. Okay. Grant certificate of Sagulichi. This is another certificate which is given where the government has, we have covered this in the previous video as well. The government gives grants some portion of land for agriculture, etc., to some category of people based on some criteria. Now they will come with a lease period. During the lease period, they can't sell it to you, as similar you can't buy it as well. And once the lease period gets over, you need to apply for an NOC, and only then you can buy or sell. Okay. So there are other documents which you need to check. This again, if you go through a lawyer, obviously they will be checking all these things. Partition deeds, will, very important document. Family tree, extremely important document. A lot of things can go wrong when the family tree is wrong. Okay, NOCs if multiple owners are available. Similarly, I have put something called publication, at least 2 newspapers. Whatever land you're buying, especially if it's a very big land, and you better publicize in the English news daily as well as on region daily, so that in case any objections there, you get to know, and then then you can avoid that or mitigate the whatever is required. Okay. Similarly, mother sale deed, and then kata, and then etc. So these are all documents you look for. Okay. Then let's get into this website and then quickly just see what all we can do in this and what we can. So this is the website. Okay, so you have view RTC and MR, kata extract. Certain options work during sometimes they have issues. For example, this one sometimes it behaves erratically, but yes, you can extract katas as well. So let's go and check this one. So this is our Bhumi online land records view. If you look at, I want to get this PANI RTC document, right? So you have current year, old year. So current year, for example, I can just say Bangalore urban, and then I say Bangalore south, and I say Bengaluru 1, and then I say Ibluru, for example, or Ijipura, and then some survey number. So I say Ibluru, and then I just take some number 33, go. Once more you have to do in this website so that you get the put star here, put star here. You see the period, this is up to date latest period because that's what we have selected on the current year, right? So now select current year, fetch details. So something comes here. So it's a view. I'm just taking an example for this particular demo. So it's a view. Okay, so this is a document what we just saw, right? The previous slide. So this is the document, the RTC, the PANI. Okay, so which we explained all the details as such. So similarly, now if you want to go old year, so if you go to the old year option, again the same process. Let's do urban, then south, and then Bengaluru 1, then probably Bengaluru, then we say 33, and then say go 2 times. Don't ask me why. Then his again to select star so that all the part whatever is there, let it come. You see the difference here now. This is all multiple periods are there. So the first option was only for the current, the latest one, and here now let's say if you want to select this one, select this. Select the year 2004-5, and then same process, fetch details, view. So you view for that particular. Okay. So you can see here, there's some transactions in that particular period. Okay. So you can view multiple periods as well. So suppose if you look at next one, 2003, fetch details, view. So you see now here you have multiple records. So there are transactions which has happened in that particular period. So this is the way you can see multiple details. Okay. Similar mutation record. I said mutation record is nothing but all the details which has happened or transaction which happened on the particular property. So now you can see here. I go and say Bangalore urban again. Same thing. We just take the same sample survey so that it's easier to demo purpose. So I said 33. I say fetch details. So you can see all the transactions, what has happened at the particular property over a period of time. So that displays. Now, if you can select on particular line item, you can select, and it's a preview. So you will see all the details in terms of what has happened on that particular period of that particular on that survey. Okay. So this is the way you can look at the mutation record details. Okay. So let's close this. Then I said kata extract works sometimes, it doesn't work sometimes. So I mean, so let's try our luck again. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Sometimes it pulls out immediately information. So here it's in Kannada, so I'll just say Bengaluru Dakshina, Bengaluru 1, and then I say Bengaluru, kata number. I know the kata number. So in this example, I'm saying get report. Let's see if it works. Sometimes it pulls out the report immediately. Sometimes it takes its own time or it doesn't work. But yeah, this is the process where you can actually pull out. Yeah, if it's taking so much of time, there is some issue there. Maybe the server is down or whatever. Yeah, so it's server is down. So let's close this. Go to survey document. Okay. The survey document, again, the same process. You can look at urban, select Bangalore South, and then Bengaluru 1, and then go to village Bengaluru. So let's say take the same survey number sample, what we talked about, put star here, all records to be displayed. So I search. So you can see that all the survey documents are available. Okay, so Pakka account book and then Tippan document. So let's see if I say click on this Tippan. See the Tippani document is available, the sketch. Okay, so this is what I can download and print as well or save it, right? So this is a very useful, sitting at home, you can get all the documents. Akkarband. Now this is the same process again. So let's see Akkarband document available or not. Say south, Bengaluru 1. Let's see if it's available there. It should be there. Bengaluru 33, then star and star. Okay, so I said view Akkarband. Yeah, great. Yeah, it's available. So it's a detailed document in terms of wetland. All the details are there, including the acreage, how much they've valuation has happened, and so on. Okay, so it's a very detailed document. I'll just close this. So it's a useful website for you to check, and beautiful document portal done by the government of Karnataka. Okay, so let's close this. So there's another option to extract, kata extract. We've already seen that. Then there are some dashboards from which people, you may not directly use it, but yeah, it's a useful one. Then you also apply for land conversion. You can do that here. And then look at the status and then get the final conversion order as well. Let's see the revenue maps. Okay, it's a very useful, again, one where we here, state. So you can get maps of state, BPMP, digital lake map, lake survey sketch, and so on. So let's say if a state, if I click on this and I say Bangalore urban, and then I just say Bangalore South, and then I say, for example, Uttarali. Okay, and then there are two types of maps. You have cadastral maps and georeference cadastral map. One is just a JPEG file. The other one is a KMZ file, which can be used using the Google Earth. You can use that and then check it out. Okay, so let's look at that. We'll do both. So one I've downloaded, you can see on the top or bottom left corner, there's one KMZ file downloaded, Alahalli. Okay, then similarly Anjanapura. So I'm going to download this as PDF file. So I'm going to download this one. You see this Anjanapura map. Okay, it's a PDF file. Okay, so it's straightforward, right? So I can see Grama, Anjanapura, Hubballi, Uttaralli, Taluku, Bengaluru, Dakshina, Jille, Bengaluru, Nagara, and so on. Okay, so let's close this. Now we download one Alahalli's KMZ file. So how do you go and check that out? So I go and open a Google Earth. Google Earth. Explore Google Earth. Takes a few minutes to get on. Okay, so then you can see this option here, projects. So I click here and I say open, import KML file from the computer. So I just open this, go to downloads, and I see this file which I downloaded. So I'm going to open that. Let's see what happens. So Alahalli, right? That's the map. The digital map which has come up. Okay, so now you can zoom and then see all what you want to, the different survey numbers and so on. Okay, so you see 73 survey number, and you keep going down if you want to. So this is the way you can see the map and then the property, what you're buying, where it is, and whether it's close to the lake. So there's a lake also close by, so you see it's close to the lake. And if you draw the number, what we talked about, so all those things you need to look at it. Okay, so I'll delete this off. So I just get out. Okay, so that's the state. Similarly, you can also take for BBMP. So same process again, same BBMP. If I go to BBMP, and then I see, for example, HSR layout, and then I can see Agara. So there's a map here. So it's download KMZ map, right? Again, so let's, so same process, okay? So I can download and then check it out. It's a Lake Digital. So I can see if it's a JPEG file here. So I download, it's easier to go and look at it. I can download and look at it. So JPEG file, can you see here? This is lake, Abhigire village, lake, Singapore village. So the lake boundary is there. So if you notice any property what you're buying, if it's close by, then, or if it's part of the lake, you better avoid that. So that's the way you want to check it out, okay? So that's lake survey. What is this one? This is also very similar, but only thing is there's a sketch here. It's not a digital map. So I'll just open it. It'll be a sketch, right? So it also tells you in terms of all the properties. It says Lakama survey number 1, and then survey, different names are there. Okay. Narayan Swami and so on. Okay. So it says Ulime, which means there are agriculture, right? So this is a sketch of the lake and so on. So this is the way you will have to download using this revenue map one. Very useful one. Okay. So that's what we saw. Then viewing survey documents, we already seen that in the Bhumi part. Then you also have some services like Parihara for direct benefit, DBT part. Okay, then you have Mojini again, land documents. Okay, then Pani we already finished seeing that. Then you have this app called Dishank. It's a beautiful app. You can put it on a mobile, and then if you go to a particular place and then just tap that, it'll tell you the survey details, survey number, and then all the details. So it's a very useful map. Okay, then there are some tutorials here, for example, Bhumi tutorial and Nada Kachori tutorial. So we'll be looking at these two. Right now we already finished Bhumi. We'll look at Nada Kachori as well. Okay, so this is a tutorial. You can look at your leisure. So let's close this part. So let's go and check this Nada Kachori. What is this one? This basically has it's a self-serving portal where for agriculture especially, and also for a lot of rural people, you can get all kinds of documents, agriculture documents, birth certificate, death certificate, caste certificate, and so on. So there's a beautiful website. for the government by the government. So this is a website what I have here already open. So if you look at it, there are a lot of services. So if you look at the list of services, you see agriculture family member certificate, agriculture labor certificate, agriculture certificate, or family tree certificate, and so on. So if you go to the next page, non-tenancy certificate. Remember, we talked about it. Yeah. So this is something which is 40 rupees it is. So you can download this as well. So you can, there are multiple things. I mean, if you look further, resident certificate, population certificate, OBC caste certificate, widow certificate. I mean, there are so many features. It's like a self-serving website where the people, agriculture families, and a lot of other people who need different certificates can get it directly from here. And there is also an SLA period, within which time they have to get that. So it's like really cutting all the red tapes. So now the main page where you see different new requests are there. So a lot of schemes are there, so you can go and check it out. Right. So I do agriculture service. And then in that agriculture service, if I say English, and then you can see no tenancy certificate, I can pull out this one. Simply, there are so many other certificates which you can pull out from this particular Nada Kacheri. Okay. And then you can get the status if you want in terms of what you applied. You know that there's an SLA, right? So within the SLA, if it is not done, so you can actually escalate it, etc. So you get the status here. So this is a new service. So when I say new service, in Kannada it is, I can also say in English, and then apply. Similarly, I can apply a caste certificate. Yeah, similarly, I can apply crop certificate. I mean, whole lot of information you can get, right? So play around with this one whenever you have time. I'm sure this website is very useful for people to get the certificates and cut rate tapeism. So that's a very nice feature done, facility by Karnataka government. So make use of this one. And I hope this was pretty useful and a quick tour of this. I can't go into details because then the video will become too long. Okay, so I'll log out. Right, so let's see that. So that's what we did now. Right now, we looked at these two websites. And then also, you remember, there are tutorials we talked about, right? In the Bhumi, you have a tutorial for Bhumi as well as for another Kacheri. So go through that, and then I'm sure you will be able to make use of all the facilities, what is there in that. Okay. So with that, let's go to the last part, which is the post-purchase activities. Basically, you'll have to apply for EC or invitation records. You ensure that your name is figuring after the purchase is done. Certified copy of the sale deed, kata transfer extract, etc. Barricade the land. Obviously, we talked about the danger if it is not. But put a watchman or a caretaker if you can. I mean, because that way what happens is somebody is there to 24/7 to look after your land. Okay. And regularly make a visit so that you are in touch with that particular land until you start building or reselling it. Okay, so that's in just the entire process of buying a land, what all it involves in terms of documents, and what documents you can get directly from the government portal, Bhumi and Nada Kacheri, etc., which we saw right now through the demo. And also the post-purchase thing. So I hope this video was very useful, and I'm sure it will be useful for you when you start actually playing around with it, getting into details and drilling down to all those different options, what is there in those portals, and make use of it to the full extent so that most of the activity gets done without paying too much of money and bribe and whatnot. That's a feature of the Kannada government's facility. So please make use of it. I hope this video is useful. Please give a thumbs up and share with your families and friends. And if you're a new subscriber, I repeat, if you're a new person, the first time you're visiting my website, please subscribe so that you get more such videos in future. Thank you so much and welcome. Thank you so much. And till my next video, see you all. Bye-bye.